shine so bold. With every move, the stories unfold. We're cheering on the youth from the start to the win. Giving them the mic, let their voices begin. Interviews and highlights, we got it all. GN Sports Show, where the young stand tall. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow, making waves today. From ages 5 and up, we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show.
Good evening to you. I'm Jamila Kirwan and welcome to the GN Sports Show. We're already into the second episode of season 3. Can you believe it? With me is my co-host this evening.
I'm Mikhail Brand Challenger, and Jamila, who are our special guests this evening?
Well, this evening we have some under-niners from the Generation Next Football Club, and they're none other than Isaiah Jacobs and Gabriela Gonzalez Barrero. We also have John McDermott, and he's the director of football at Ackworth School in Yorkshire, England. Of course, you know, we have some of our Generation Next boys who will be going up next month to Ackworth School. We also have Isaiah Tung, and he's one of our talented sailors. And of course, this evening, Seth Millis, and they're all about sports and movement and being active.
Exciting lineup tonight. Stay right where you are. Generation Next Sports Show will be right back.
GN Sports Show.
Our vision is to become the premier platform for showcasing and empowering young student athletes, providing them with the tools and exposure to excel both in sports and life, while shaping the next generation of confident, media-savvy leaders. The GN Sports Show is dedicated to highlighting the talent and stories of young student athletes across all sports disciplines. We aim to equip them with vital media exposure and public speaking skills, helping them grow into confident individuals both on and off the field. Through engaging interviews, mentorship, and real-world media experiences, we strive to foster personal and professional development that supports their athletic journeys.
GN Sports Show.
And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. I'm Jamila Kirwan with my co-host this evening.
I'm Mikhail Brand Challenger.
And this evening, we are sitting with two of our dynamic under-niners from the Generation Next Football Club in the person of none other than Master Isaiah Jacobs. Da-na-na-na-na. And of course, beautiful Gabriela Gonzalez Barrero. Do the queen. Because I know you dance, Gabby. I know you dance, so I know you have a little bit of finesse, but when I see you on that field, you got those guys running.
Yep.
Tell me about a little bit about who got you into football, Gabby.
So one day when we came back from our trip, I was telling Mom, I wanted to do football. And she didn't believe me, and then I kept pestering her, and then she's like, oh, she's serious? And then she signed me for Generation Next.
Because she told me off camera that you dance, and she thought it was really, really a little strange that all of a sudden Gabby just picked up this thing about football, and you were right, she used those exact words. You pestered her until she realized that you were serious. So I'm glad you kept up that pestering, because you are a real great little fire starter out there on the field.
Thank you.
So, Isaiah, what about you? How did you get interested in playing football?
So my mom got me into football, and I started when I was 5. A very young age for a little boy to play football.
So mom encouraged you to play football, and you not only play football, but you also run track.
Yes.
What's your club name?
Supernova.
Supernova.
What's your distance?
100 meter and a 200 meter.
So you're fast, so you have speed on the football pitch as well. But you
Yes.
said you've been playing since you were a little boy at 5. How old are you now?
9 years old.
Wow, so you have a good number of years under your belt in football.
A good number.
Good number of years.
What about you, Gabby? How old are you?
I'm 9. I started when I was 5 also. Yeah.
And what school do you go to?
I go to Kids Unlimited.
All right, and what class are you in? Tell us a little bit about school.
I'm in 4th grade. I love seeing my friends every day, and I love social studies.
Social studies,
Okay.
fantastic.
So is your social studies teacher your favorite teacher?
Yes.
Okay. What's her name?
Teacher Carol.
Shout out to Teacher Carol. Give
Shout
Teacher
out to Teacher Carol.
Awesome.
What about you, Isaiah? What school do you attend?
I attend St. John's Catholic Primary School, and
What's your favorite subject?
my favorite subject is math and
Wow. I'm impressed with anyone who likes math and understands math. You are like I'm impressed.
math and social studies.
Math and social studies.
All right.
Wow, so
I
we
like the
have
math part.
young scholars, dancers, track and field athletes, and footballers. The future is exceptionally bright with you, too. What about you, Gabby, our football ballerina scholar?
What I love about Generation Next is that we're like, I love that we're always active and we're always doing drills and after every drill we do like a little match and I love being the captain.
Yeah, so what do you like most about being the captain?
Setting everybody's positions.
And what position do you play?
I play left wing.
All right.
All right. Then you're a right footer or a left footer?
I'm a left footer.
You are.
Yes.
You know that's a unique thing. Why do you think that's a big thing, being a left footer?
Because Messi's a left footer.
Oh, that's the biggest thing about being a left footer. Messi's a left footer, but also you can confuse the goalkeeper.
You can.
Of course, if they think that you're gonna shoot with your right foot
I can shoot.
and you shoot with your left foot, they don't know where you're gonna kick the ball.
How do you guys prepare for a match? Like you go home and tomorrow you have a match. How do you prepare going into it? Are you nervous? Are you excited? What's the game plan? What's going on in your mind?
When we have a game, I'm most excited and I hope that we win. And I just love skilling out people.
You love skilling.
That's
Up top.
fantastic. That's fantastic. So you have confidence on the field, and that's exceptional. That's
Yes.
what's needed.
Yeah, indeed. So, Gabby, I know that you play football, you dance. What do you wanna do when you grow up?
I want to be a footballer.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's right.
Plain and simple. She just wants to be a footballer.
Do you have a female footballer that you like more, or a male footballer? Who's your favorite?
I like a female footballer. Her name is Alicia Lehman.
Ah. What about you, Zay? Well, who's your favorite football player?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
okay.
Okay. I thought he was gonna say Messi, but
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a track and field star, but if I don't like to be one, I would be a business owner.
Options.
options. Yeah. Anybody that you like in track and field?
My friend called Zavrik Martin.
Zavrik. And what about anybody that you've seen on TV that you like watching when you watch track and field?
Usain Bolt.
Of course, I knew
That's
that.
right. So
I knew that.
we'll go to inter-schools and then Carifta, and then head on,
Yes.
expecting big things from you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And what about your hobbies? Just before we close off, Gabby, what do you like to do besides dancing, besides football? What are your hobbies?
I like to do like arts and crafts. I like making bracelets. I love drawing, and I love anything that has to do with like creativity.
So if the social studies doesn't work out, if the football doesn't work out, if the dancing doesn't work out, then you have a plan D.
Yes.
Yeah, so you do creative.
Yes.
I tell you what, life is going to work out.
Oh, I'm
because
telling
these
you.
young people are dynamic. What about you? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
I like to do basic stuff.
Tell us, Zai. Don't try to keep anything from us, okay? Tell us what you like to do.
I like to draw. And I would do creative stuff. Like try to make things. And it would be the best thing to do if I'm bored.
Gaming? Am I hearing Mom telling me something off camera, saying something about gaming?
Nope. I
No.
just-
I plead the fifth. Nope. Mom's not gonna tie you up this good night.
All she's doing is psst.
Now, we have a mom in the studio, and she's and trying to give him little pointers, and Zai's not having it. Zai's not having it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Isaiah Jacobs and Gabriella. We're wishing you guys all the very, very best. Our future looks bright, Mickey.
Extremely bright. Thank you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Looking out for big things from both of you.
Thank you.
All right, the GN Sports Show will be right back.
And Sports Show.
So, John, welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So let's jump right into it. You were here recently for the CAF Player ID Combine. So what were your initial impressions of the talent on display here?
I was shocked to the quality of the players in depth, even from the girls right the way through each age group. The mass of quality that was there. I was expecting to see possibly maybe one or two decent players, good players. I was really impressed with how many quality players there was on that day.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what were the qualities that made those people exceptional? And if there were any particular players that stood out to you that you'd want to talk about now?
Yeah, well, the players that obviously in my age group, I was looking at 16 to 18s. And to be honest, I could have picked about 10 to 15 players out of it. But the ones who caught my eye, obviously, on the day, because obviously with a certain recruitment that I needed in certain positions, was obviously Greg Williams. I'm really impressed with Greg, with his scoring ability. Vaughn Jackson, he was another good feed, quick, tall, athletic. And then obviously 2 centre backs, which was I spoke to and I've seen highlights from, was Jaden Brown, Seth Lan. He caught my eye. They were the ones who stood out for me on the day. But I must admit, there were centre midfield players. I like the goalkeeper, and credit to the players. I just thought the overall quality on both teams was exceptional. So you've got to give credit to the coaches who organised it, who ran the teams on the day, the way they play. Credit to them as well. I thought it was fantastic.
That's fantastic, but let's talk about like the size of the country and the fact that you were able to identify quite a few players. How does that stack up against other combines that you've been to in other places?
I just thought the quality overall, individually, throughout both teams, and even the seniors, the older guys, I just thought the facility that we were taken to right from the beginning, the presentations, meeting the families, the whole organisation of it, the timing of it, everything. It was spot on. We was well looked after, and it was the players, the attitude. I think sometimes you go to these others, you get 1 or 2 players who are up for it. Some will just want to go and have a game of football with their friends. But on this day, over the few days I was there, I was really impressed with the enthusiasm that the players brought, backed by the families as well. It was a credit to the organisers for doing all the work, because I think sometimes you don't realise what goes behind the scenes. Everything really, the drinks that were provided for the players, for the staff, the scouts, organisation, where they stay, everything. I was really impressed. I must admit, really impressed.
That's fantastic. How would this level of talent compare to what you've seen at academies and in the UK? And how do you think, were it all to work out, that these players would be able to transition from here in the Caribbean and Antigua to England?
I think obviously with the top end of the England game, the pyramid, obviously you get different categories, which maybe 1, 2, and then it goes down 3, 4. I think the top end quality players, which obviously I would put in, would be Greg, obviously Vaughan, the two guys, the centre backs I've mentioned, Jaden and Steph, and then possibly most of the older guys. They would be, you're looking at category 1, category 2. If they were English born, I think they would already be in a top elite academy. And I'm sure that for the guys who are playing for the Liga, they will have obviously teammates who are probably already in English academy who've got British born parents or the older British passport. I think they would be already in there. So the rest of the guys who I seen would not shame any academy Cat 3 and Cat 4 at all. I think, for me, recruitment for the school and for the team we're in, these guys that obviously I'm talking about, Greg Williams, will probably be one of our star players, if not the star player. And the way they're going to have to transmit into that is, because obviously with the links that we've got within the school, we're trying to get them to play not only for the school, but then for an English team. Try and get their training first, let them showcase. Can they get into that setup first and then get the club to then, you're looking at international clearance and things like this. And then hopefully get a professional career. So that's the aim. I think over to England and shock quite a few people.
Okay, so for someone like Greg, who's not in the UK system, if he's preparing for that transition, what are some of the things that he could be doing now so that he's in the best possible position when he gets there?
I mean, I've been in contact with Greg. He seems to be doing everything right at the moment. He's looking after himself. He's still playing. He's fit. He's got good understanding about his nutrition, because you come into these sort of season, because obviously our season might be different to Antigua. Obviously the weather, and they're sort of adapting straight into it. So sometimes your season might go longer than ours when our guys are resting. So it's important he gets plenty of rest, plenty of recovery. As much as he wants to be keen, he's got to make sure that when he comes into the UK, he's ready, all cylinders ready to go. And it's up to myself and the rest of the staff that we build Greg up, speaking at the best he can. And I'm sure he will, alongside the other teammates that may be coming over. So that's the main thing for me, is for Greg to have the enthusiasm, to work on little things. It could be his sharpness, it could be just ticking over in general, and looking after himself with the nutrition.
That's fantastic. Let's zoom back out a little for other players who would want to be in that position, who want to make a good impression in future combines. What are some of the attributes and skills that scouts and coaches will be looking for?
I think obviously the first and foremost is enthusiasm. If you're keen, obviously energy, you're looking at the energy, you're looking at players. This is without the ball. I'm talking about organisation, lads who may be organising other players. Do they understand the game? What's their positional sense? And then when with the ball, what's their first touch? Do they see other passes? Do they see other movement? Are they aware of what's around them? So all these little things and what coaches are looking for. Again, obviously the game understanding, that can come later. Different coaches will play different systems, patterns of play, all these kind of things they can learn. Me personally, I just look at how fit the guy is. I'm not too fussed on size, height or anything like that. I think if you're technically good, you can get away from players and use your brain. If you're physically strong and you've got all that, that's a bonus. But again, it's just having this dream that the players want to be a player, and I think sticking to that, having a bit of desire, determination, and a bit of grit, I think that can go a long way.
As someone who's worked your way back from injury into play, what kind of advice would you give to these young, eager players who are looking to play professionally? What would you tell them in terms of the road, the strengths and eventualities in life, and the mental toughness that's required to stay the course?
I think you've just touched on it. The mental toughness. You're going to get setbacks. Now, that might be an injury. It might be a refusal. And it could be someone who's, at that time, football's all about opinions. And it's about one person's opinion. And that could be the coach. It could be the manager. It could be the leader of the club. Sometimes you don't get that. And you might get a setback. But football's never over. Football changes every week, every day. Like I said, it's all about opinions. You might go to the right team at the right time, and you might make it. You might not. But I would say, if you've got a dream, stick with it. Stick with it. Go for it. Put yourself in that best opportunity you can. Work hard. Work harder than anyone else. If it means going out on your own, doing extra, don't just rely on the coach. You could be going on the YouTube, looking at different patterns, play, understanding, listening to other coaches online, taking a few cones out and doing little runs. You don't have to run for an hour. It might be little sharp things. Go in the gym, get a bit stronger physically. All these things, just try and get an extra edge on maybe, it could be a team, maybe an opposing player, anything. But the thing is, never lose your enthusiasm. Never let anyone tell you it, because you will. If you've got the dream, you'll do it.
Dream it and work hard for it.
Absolutely.
What role do you see events like the CAF Player ID Combine playing in the future of global football? And I know we're but a small island in the Caribbean, but we have young, eager players. We've also had players coming in from neighboring islands. So what role can we fill?
I think, I just think word will spread. Word will spread. I think with the players coming over to the UK, it'll sort of put Antigua on the stage a little bit. I think all the coaches that came on when I was there were quite impressed with the quality. I certainly was. I know we do scholarships and things like that, but if I'd have knew then what the quality was before I'd gone there, I probably might have even brought 1, 2, maybe 3 more, giving them that scholarship. And next time I come over, and I think that's what I'm going to do, I probably might wait back and hold on and see what the quality Antigua get, because I know once the word spreads, it won't be just schools and colleges or universities from America coming over. I reckon professional football clubs will start having to come over and have a look at what's on stage, really, because the amounts of players that I could have picked, probably, like I said, 12, 15 players from that.
That's fantastic news. I think generally in the grand scheme of things, we're then punching way above our weight in Antigua and Barbuda. And so I think it's also important for these young players to understand that they're not just footballers and potential professionals, but they're also ambassadors, and the doors that they open, they need to keep open for the other players who will come behind them. So that's fantastic. So you come on down next year with as many coaches as that airplane can fit.
I will. Hey, I won't be anyone. I want them for myself. But no, seriously, I was really, really impressed. Like you say, with the conditions and the pitch was, even though it was good condition, stuff like that, still a bit dry, and probably because of the heat. But these players, you know, the effort they've put in, the tempo they played at, never found bubbles with a ball. They were at it from minute one to 90 minutes. They'd have another 20 minutes rest and go another 90, which for me, you know, you wouldn't get a British player being able to handle that physical endurance, which these guys can run and play with quality for that length of time. I was amazed.
Well, that's good, and we hope that when you come next year, you'll find just as many prospects. A last question before we go. Funded by the CAF, Calvin Ayre Foundation, Generation Next will be heading your way to Aquath next month. Can you give us an idea of what will happen, what the players will undergo, and what the experience will be like?
Yeah, the players are going to come in. I mean, first of all, they're going to sample the good old Yorkshire weather to start with. But coming into the school, it's got a lot of history. It's built in the 1700s. So to look at and to see the history of how the school was built, the history of how many people have come through the school, where they've gone on and the success. They're going to meet all the staff who are lovely, friendly. We've got 25 different nationalities at the school at the moment, so they're going to meet people from different countries, different cultures. They're going to sample food from different countries as well. But then they're going to probably have an example of what the day is in studying in the school, you know, on the lessons that they might want to come and study. They'll have a sample of that, what the daily routine of being a student at the school will be, the attire, what they need to wear, and things like that. And then obviously the football after that, you know, in the evening, which is around about 4 p.m. English time, they'll sample how we train with all the first team academy that we've got, different ball techniques, bit of shape, bit of patterns, similar to what they're already doing, but it's just the way we do things. And then we'll have possibly an in-house game, because a lot of the academies now will be finished around June, so we'll end up playing a game. But you know, it might be our development squad against first team, our national first team that we've got, and they'll be taking part in that. So it'll be good for them to see the guys who maybe could be their former teammates, and sampling what the culture of England is. And then obviously as well, I'm sure there'll be an excursion going out to different towns locally and just sampling the lifestyle of England.
Fantastic. We look forward to the reports while the trip is underway and certainly after. Thank you so much, John. We know your hours ahead, so thanks for joining us, for being a great sport tonight, for being a great sport overall, and we look forward to a long, did I say long, and mutually beneficial relationship. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to come over again to see you all.
Have a good one.
Sports Show.
Welcome to the ACB Caribbean Youth Football League wrap-up. The league is also sponsored by Milo, A.S. Bryden's & Sons, Citizenship by Investment Unit. These are the point standings for the most recent matches.
Sports Show.
All right, welcome back to the GN Sports Show. I'm Jamila Kerwan, your host for this evening. And with me is one of our dynamic, young, gifted, talented sailors. His name is Isaiah Tung, and he's 16 years old. attends the St. Anthony's Secondary School. Good evening, Isaiah.
Hi, how are you?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, thank you for joining me there this evening. Normally, he calls me Auntie J, but this evening it's all about you and all about your pursuits in sailing. Now, Zai, I know you played football with Generation Next Football Club,
Yes.
and then you segued into sailing, and you started sailing less than 3 years ago. What drew you to the sport?
My friends Ethan Bailey and Johan Salmon, they introduced me to this sport. They were kind of forcing me to do it when I was in first and second form, but there was an issue with the price of it because it was a little bit of expensive. But fortunately, they introduced me to a club called the National Sailing Academy, NSA for short, and basically they teach you how to sail on courses called the RYA courses. And in June 2022, I applied for them during the summer and I started my sailing courses. And from then on, I just love this sport.
Yeah, you like it a lot better than football?
Yes, I do.
I'm glad you found your niche and you're doing really, really well in it. How did you feel that first day when you went out on the water?
When I went out on the water, I felt calm. I felt that it was my place because prior to sailing, I did fishing. I did fishing tournaments with Dr. Fuller. And I just loved the ocean. It was just a place for me. And when I went on my first sailboat and I learned it very quickly. I just snapped. So I felt like it's something that I could really do and I could really hold on to for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like fish to water?
Yeah.
Well, I know your mom and Beverly Percival, and she would always tell me about the fishing tournaments, and I would get the pictures of the big fishes that you guys would pull in, and it was so amazing to see you just falling in love with fishing and sailing and the water. So really, really happy for you. So you've achieved significant success in the ILCA 4 racing, and you have to tell us what ILCA means and what has been the most challenging part of mastering the ILCA.
Okay, so ILCA, ILCA, is short for International Laser Class Association. ILCA 4 now is ILCA 4 is a sail size because the ILCA has 3 sail sizes. ILCA 4, which is 4.7 meters, ILCA 6, which is 6 meters, and ILCA 7, which is 7 meters. I don't necessarily think I've mastered the boat because in any sport that you do, there's always new things to learn. And I think because I've dedicated so much time into sailing the boat, that I have a good understanding and relationship with the boat that I can, go out sail and do my thing, especially in racing. So I wouldn't say I mastered sailing the boat. I just have a very good understanding of the boat and how to maneuver and handle the boat.
All right. So you've sailed on a range of boats from ILCA. Now I know it's ILCA, not
Well, you can just say
ILCA.
laser.
All right. So you've sailed on a wide range of boats, the ILCA dinghies to the Swan 58 and the Cork 1720. How do you adapt your skills between solo dinghy racing and team-based keelboat?
Well, when I'm sailing ILCA, I have to sail for myself. Everything is on me when I'm out in the water. My tactics, my strategies, my maneuvers, how I manage my body weight on the boat, all of that is under me. So all of that pressure is kind of on me. And when I'm on the keelboats, the big boats, with sailing with a team, I know that even though I have to be swift, I have people that I can rely on if I make a mistake or something, or I can get advice from different people. And it's always good to have advice from different people when you're sailing, because I may say the wind shift is coming from here and someone say, oh, even though it's coming from there, in a couple of seconds it's gonna die down, so you should go on this tack or whatever. So it's always good to have company, to have different opinions when you're sailing.
I agree. As an instructor, assistant instructor, and I did not even know this about you. You're an assistant instructor at the NSA.
Yes.
You're now teaching younger sailors. How has coaching others impacted your own understanding and love for the sport?
Okay, so basically, I'm an assistant instructor during the summer, and basically when I teach children how to sail, it's better for me to understand it when I'm explaining it to the younger children, because if I'm saying, oh yeah, pull your rudder down or pull in vang because this is gonna happen or that's gonna happen, it's like a little reminder system in my head that when I'm sailing, oh yeah, you taught these to the kids, so just repeat it in your head and you'll learn from it too. So even though I'm teaching the kids, I'm still learning things also. It's not only sailing, I assist them with like swimming and different sports, because during summer camp we do different things, not only sailing, like kayaking, snorkeling, stuff like that.
So you're a teacher, but still a student.
Yeah.
And that teaching them helps to reinforce what you're teaching them as well, what you're
Yes.
learning as well. That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about, because I was listening to your conversation with Mikkel off camera, and she was asking about the exercises. Now, I know your mom is a former bodybuilder, and you're into sailing. What's the difference between the exercises that you have to perform for sailing as opposed to, let's say, football or
Okay.
bodybuilding?
So with bodybuilding and football or let me focus on bodybuilding. With bodybuilding, you have to mainly focus on like muscle mass and those specific muscle groups. But with sailing, it's more like aerobic, anaerobic, those type of training. We have to build lean muscle mass and mainly focus on your body strength, your body's natural strength, and you have to work around it. For Ilka, you really have to work on your core and your legs, because the process to keep the boat flat, because when you're sailing a boat, you're causing lift, your sail is causing lift, and you have to keep your boat flat in order for your boat to be fast. So the process of hiking is there's a hiking strap in the cockpit of the boat, because it's a 13-foot boat, and there's something called a hiking strap, which basically your feet are kind of like hanging on outside of the boat, and you basically have to press the boat down with your leg muscles and be leaning outside the boat to keep the boat flat, because a flat boat is a fast boat when it comes to dinghies.
All right, that is so interesting. This is a wealth of information. I know nothing about that. All I do, I see the
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
beautiful boats during sailing week and
Yeah.
the Rourke and all of that. And
Because there's so much more to sailing than just sitting on big boats, and there's a whole different world. Like a lot of people think that sailing is just you sit down on a boat and just go around the world and do stuff like that. But it's like every other sport. There's so many races and so much hard work that you have to put into this sport, and it's so dangerous. So you really have to be careful when you're doing that sport.
yeah, what I am hearing from you as well is that it seems like you would have started from the bottom up in terms of starting from scratch, because all the terminologies I'm hearing, it's things that I believe that you would have been taught from when you started, and as you come up through the ranks, you're learning more and you're learning more.
Yeah.
Tell us about that process.
So before, when I first started sailing, I knew nothing. Like, I didn't know that ropes on the boat, it's not called rope, it's called sheets.
It's not?
No, it's called sheets or halyards.
Okay.
Right. And now that every time that I go sailing, I learn something new. A couple of months in March, I was invited by Jules Mitchell, which is the captain of a boat called Warthog. I was invited by him to go to the British Virgin Islands to do the BVI Spring Regatta. And basically, when I went there, I learned so much. Like, those people they're like brothers to me. Even though they're the top of the top sailors in Antigua, I'd consider them the best sailors in Antigua has.
Wow.
Right? And their connection is so good, and they just treat me like family. And because I got so close to them, they taught me so many things, and they said, when you're on these big boats, you got to be fast. You can't be sitting down slacking, doing whatever. You have to be up doing stuff, and if you're not doing anything, ask if you can do something, because whenever you're proactive, especially on these big boats, then people would know that this guy's doing work.
You're
and
reliable.
I'm a reliable person. When I was in the BVI, I was taught how to properly pack a spinnaker by Louis, which was the bowman on Warthog. He taught me many things. Jules taught me many things. Rocco Falcone, which does he sails on Luna Rossa for the America's Cup.
Yeah.
And yeah, every time I sail, I just learn something new.
Right, that is amazing. But I heard that your team did really well in the BVI regatta. Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
we in the BVI we got all first. So when you get all first in sailing, it's known as a bullet, and especially in big boats. So we got all first. It was really good. And I would also like to thank Jim Voss, which is the owner, because even though Jules is the captain, the boat has an owner. So I'd like to thank him for allowing me to come on the boat, but I'd like to mostly thank Jules because he allowed me to and gave me the opportunity to go on Warthog. And I promise you, when I went to the BVI, I learned so much things. Like those people molded me into a pretty good young sailor.
Oh wow! So I hope they're listening, and make sure you tell them when we release the link for this show, because they need to hear how you have really been influenced by them. I'm
Yes.
sure they'll be really grateful to hear all these kudos going out to them. Yes. You mentioned aiming. Well, off camera, you mentioned aiming for the 2028 Olympics and even attempting a long distance ILCA sailing record. What steps are you currently taking to move towards that goal?
Wow. During the 2028 Olympics, for the Olympics, there's one person for each country that signs up or registers. I have another friend, which I mentioned earlier, Diego. He's a very good sailor, if I have to say. He's like one of the best in Antigua. Me personally, that's what I think. So him and I are just back and forth because he also wants to do the 2028 Olympics, but it takes a lot of training and skill, and you have to spend a lot of time on the boat. And a person like Diego, he's been sailing from since he was small, and he was taught by Jules how to sail. He's living in Malta, and he sails at a sailing academy which dedicates to ILCA mainly. But I think I can do it if I just go out into the world and explore, specifically to the ILCA, and take my time and just dedicate a lot of time to the boat. If I dedicate a lot of time, keep doing these races, because you have Antigua Nationals, Yacht Club mainly hosts the ILCA regattas. So if I keep doing these things and keep building my strength and building my knowledge of sailing, if I keep doing world sailing, the world championships, if I do those, then I'd hopefully be able to do the Olympics. For the big boats now, I would like to do the 2027 Volvo Ocean Race. By then I'd be 18. It's a very tough race because you're basically racing around the whole entire world, not the Atlantic, not the Pacific. You're racing around all 7 oceans.
Wow.
But it's not consistently, it's like in legs. So one race may be from China to the Caribbean, or from Russia to Hong Kong, wherever. It's a very big race. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. I would also like to do the Vendée Globe, which is another around the world race, but you do it on a 2-person. It's 2 people that sail this boat.
Yeah.
It's called an IMOCA, a very fast boat. World sailing with the World Championships. Hopefully I'm able to do that in the next year or so. But it costs a lot of money to get your own sail and stuff like that, and get boat parts and stuff. It's a little harder for me, but I manage. I like to break the world record for the longest distance sail on an ILCA. I think it's 300 and something nautical miles, but I would like to sail from here to one of those Caribbean countries. Hopefully hitting 400, 500, between the range of 400 to 600 nautical miles. That is a very long record. It could probably take me a month or so of just consistent sailing, or maybe 2 weeks, or who knows.
Well, I
Yeah.
believe you actually will hit your goals, because I am learning so much on
Yeah,
this set about sailing, and you sound very well versed, and you have the passion.
To be honest, it's all about consistency. you can achieve any dream you want if you just dedicate time to it and just be consistent with it. When I first started sailing, my instructors told me that, laser is a very ilka. The boat's name is called laser, but it would take a while for you to learn how to sail laser, to transition from this boat, whatever boat, to laser. Because the first boat I started to sail was a boat called an RSS, which is a beginner boat. And I said, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to sail a laser before the year end. And I started sailing 3 months, laser 3 to 4 months. I think it's between the span of 3 to 6 months after I started sailing the RSS. And after I started sailing laser, I haven't really sailed other dinghy. I've sailed other dinghies, like multiple others, but I've just dedicated so much time to the laser that I just love it. The boat has been out for over 50 years now, so it's a very popular boat. People call it the original dinghy because that it's just a very good boat and well built.
So you have a passion, and I know that you have to have the support from home, because as with many athletes, whatever sport they are interested in, whether it be football or cricket or basketball or sailing or tennis, the support from home, the parents, is really, really important. Tell us about. Well, I don't want to preempt you. I know what it takes because I'm a football mom as well. Then for sailing, let us know how your parents support you.
My mom and my dad is a little bit iffy, like he doesn't want me getting injured or he doesn't want something bad happen to me. But my mom, even though it's just that's how parents are, they just don't want you to get hurt because you're their child. And my parents one and only. So, but in terms of support, my parents I noticed that they really supported me throughout this, especially my mom. She has gone out of her way to provide many opportunities for me. Like, she allowed me to go to the BVI because before that, I just finished the Antigua Nelson's Cup, which is basically kind of a regatta, which is a practice for the Work 600, which is like around 600 miles around each Caribbean, well, not each, 11 Caribbean countries. But she allowed me to go to the BVI, even though I was missing out on a lot of schoolwork. So after I came from the BVI, I had to catch up on a lot of schoolwork. But in terms of support, she's really dedicated a lot of time, and she has shown that she really think I can do this. So I believe you can do it as well. Can you share particularly memorable moment from any regatta or race, and maybe a victory, maybe a setback? It's a first timer. So the Antigua Sailing Week that just passed, I was sailing on the Swan 58 Wave Walker. Lovely crew, lovely people, Carolyn and Woody, amazing people. We were sailing, and one of our head sails, which is called a Code Zero, it broke. It exploded.
Wow.
And the thing, that's not necessarily like the exciting part about it. It's about how these professional sailors, they're quick with it. As soon as the sail blew, we just hoisted another sail, which is called the jib, which is the main head sail, and we hoisted it back up, dropped the Code Zero down, put it in the hatch in a matter of seconds. So it's amazing how sailors can react, because in order to be a sailor, you have to be vigilant at all times. And it's amazing how we react to these things so quickly. And in any sport, you have to be vigilant, but it's crazy how you do it underwater so quickly.
Yeah. All right. So my final question for you, Isaiah, is beyond the medals, beyond the titles, what legacy would you like to leave in the sport?
Okay, I would love for more children to get indulged into this sport. I'd love to leave a name for this sport, because a lot of people like to doubt this sport because, oh yeah, you're a sailor, you don't do half the work as a footballer or a runner, or it's the same amount of work. It depends on how much work you decide to put into the sport. So I want to leave like a name for sailing, to know that, it's like any other sport and it's just as fun. If you like water sports, then why not like sailing? I'm not gonna say it's for everyone, because some people are scared of the water. Some people like to complain a lot. If you want to do sailing, you're gonna have to have a mindset of, even though it may be a little scary, you have to keep calm. I want to, in the future, I would like to be a role model for young sailors. I would like to make a name for myself, not only in the Caribbean, but just around the world, as like this guy from the Caribbean. He just made a name for himself out of sailing, and he proved a lot of people wrong.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Isaiah Tong.
Yeah.
So wonderful sitting here with you and learning all of this in such a short space of time about sailing. But I wish you all the very best. And sky's the limit.
It is.
All right. Thank you so much. GN Sports Show will be right back.
GN Sports Show.
We would like to thank the sponsors of Generation Next: Fruta, Antigua Masonry Products, Kenneth A. Gomez Insurance Agency, Island Photo, and Francis Trading Agency.
GN Sports Show.
Our next topic is innovative, it's dynamic, and it's intriguing. It is training muscles for life, from youth hoops to karaoke boxing.
All right, and welcome back. This is the GN Sports Show. And with us this evening is the recipient of the Orlando Magic's NBA Community Coach of the Year Award. He's a youth basketball coach and fitness innovator. His name is Seth Millis. Seth?
Hey, everyone.
Good evening to you, and welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Seth, first of all, can you explain to us what is the NBA Community Coach of the Year Award? Congratulations, but tell us exactly what it is.
Of course. Thank you so much. The NBA Youth Coach of the Year Award, Community Coach of the Year Award, is given to the YMCA National Basketball Coach for Youth Sports. And it's a competition between all of the YMCAs in the United States. I think over 200 coaches participated, and they awarded the National Coach of the Year award to me.
Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Seth, you've coached both junior and senior high school kids in the Orlando YMCA Youth Basketball League for several years. What patterns do you see when it comes to kids building muscle and having movement skills?
Well, I think you have to start early. I think that kids in the middle school range don't have the capabilities often to build muscle, but you can get them started with the habits to be able to build muscle later on. It really depends on genetics, it depends on motivation, and there's a lot of external factors that really go into play. And if you get kids motivated, and if you get them using their bodies and understanding how to use their bodies, muscle awareness, and get them to accomplish or at least think about what their goals are early, is that you can set them up for success as they start to have the physical capabilities to build muscle as they get older.
So basically what you're saying is if kids don't associate movement with joy and identity, they may abandon physical activity later.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the first thing is to get them engaged, is that it's not important exactly how they do it, but just that they do it. The point is competition. The point is to keep them moving. The point is to get them to do something. And it's not to necessarily be good at something. I think the mistake is we think we have to be good at something at first, and just getting them to understand what the goals are is probably the way to set them up for success in the future.
Structure does it have to be? Because maybe we may have the mindset that our kids are running about playing in free play, or they're involved in some kind of organized sport. Is this enough, or does it need to be more structured, more tailored, that we're telling them not just movement, but how to move and proper movement? Or is it fine as long as they're up and about?
I think when they're younger, movement is important. But as they start to understand, if we can connect the play to actual purpose and to muscle growth, as well as intention and results, is that you can achieve results. So, the younger you start them, the more it is important to just get them moving, and then structure becomes increasingly more important as they get older.
So we're going to kind of bob and weave between kids and parents. Let's jump on the parents for a
no
little
problem.
bit.
Sure.
Many parents sit on the sidelines because they think it's too late for them. And it's all about just getting the kids to exercise or getting the kids to do some kind of movement. I'm seeing something here on my list saying karaoke boxing. You have to explain that to us, Seth.
So I also teach boxing, stand-up boxing to adults as well as kids. And again, engagement is probably the most important thing. And for some adults who have, like you said, sat on the sidelines for quite some time, it's really important to also give them the idea that that engagement and entertainment is really, really important. If you can distract them long enough, you can kind of teach them something. And I came up with a way to sort of embed this fun thing while teaching boxing. And you know, we box to music oftentimes, and in order to add another level to that participation, we make it karaoke boxing. So people come up out of the class, pick songs, and sing to them while the rest of the class boxes.
Extremely innovative. Is this your concept and is it trademarked?
It is not trademarked. You know, I have yet to see some people do this aside from myself. So good luck trying it to anybody who can. You certainly you have to be able to jump between teaching a class, understanding the music, the rhythms, the beats per minute necessary, and also give a little bit of host vibe as well.
That sounds like it takes a lot of coordination, though, especially if you're coming off the sidelines, you're trying to box, you're trying to keep the rhythm, someone's singing, you may want to sing too, but it also
Yes.
sounds like barrels of fun.
Yes, it certainly is. We've had people walk in and just, you know, their jaws would drop on the floor, like, what is going on here? As one would imagine.
Tell us about the experiences of some of your clients, different ages. Mickey just said it's barrels of fun. Tell us what are your clients' experience when they're doing their boxing?
So, I mean, I have a wide range of clients, running from, senior citizens almost, all the way to youth groups and everything in between. I'm also Parkinson's certified as well. And so not recently, but in the past, we've done Parkinson classes. I've led groups of Parkinson's patients with boxing, just to get them up, moving, pattern recognition, pattern breaking, getting their minds working in a different way. And all of my clients work exactly the same way. It's really about giving them something to accomplish first, whether it's young people or beginners or seasoned athletes, to give them something where, you know, they can focus on it first and then start to develop their skills. And then again, like we said, see the fruits of their labor as they put the work in.
No matter your age, movement matters, and making
Correct.
it fun and interesting is the key to it.
I would agree with that 100%. I think that the engagement and the entertainment factor involved with exercise is sorely lacking in a lot of our programs.
I find it interesting that you mentioned Parkinson's as well. So this is almost like a neuro rehab as well.
Yes, absolutely. The whole point is we take these patterns and we break them, we rewire them, we give them something else to think about, that we distract them. And so we start to develop these neural patterns, new neural patterns, versus deteriorating the old.
So, Seth, what would you say are the key differences you see between your junior high and senior high players in terms of how they respond to muscle training?
I think that understanding the concepts and actually being able to see the results. Like I said before, the middle school and younger students, they don't necessarily see the results because they don't have the capability to build the type of muscle that older students have. So it's great to get those concepts down and to really embed that fun. But once they do reach that certain age, as they start to mature, as the genetics start to take hold, they can build muscle. And so they see these dramatic results, and that gives them more motivation.
Certainly, everything is in partnership. So, what would you say to parents who are keen on raising kids who have a lifelong love of movement and a commitment to keep moving, and for the parents also to stay moving? So, what's your message for them?
I think it's important to set an example, but it doesn't have to be at such a high level. I think that as long as the parents either demonstrate some sort of joy that they can get either through their children, or that they can show them themselves that they participate in, I think that's really, really helpful. Also, I would say for the same reasons is that just getting out there and getting moving and doing some things that you're not necessarily good at, but you're not afraid to be a beginner at, are really, really important. It sends the right message to the kids, and it can start you, even as an older adult, on a path to a little bit of a fitness journey.
Jumping back a little bit to the National Community Coach of the Year award, that's a huge honor. What did that recognition mean to you personally, and how has it impacted your work with the youth in Orlando?
I think, it's a great honor. I can't take any of the credit. I have to give all the credit to the kids and the parents and the people that surround me. They really supported me for 10 years. I wasn't ever trying to get the award, and actually I started coaching by accident. I actually got tricked into it a little bit, but I found that I loved it. It's nice to have these awards, and we don't think that we really want them, but then when we get them, it is very, very satisfying. It's only confirmed the idea that, I do care, and that people do care about me as a coach, and that I am making an impact on kids, adults, and other people's lives. And that's tremendous. That's a tremendous responsibility that I feel as well. I think that continues, and the award only confirms all of those things.
I'm sure it's impetus for you to redouble your efforts and your commitment as well. Winning the award certainly must be a good motivation for you to redouble your efforts and your commitment.
Yeah, it's certainly given me time to reflect and to pause and to think about what the next few years are going to look like for me as a coach, and also just reevaluate. It also gives me an opportunity to demonstrate to some of the kids who have either graduated, moved on, or that have been coaching for a very long time that, maybe this is something that you would want to do as well. Like we talked about having a role model. We talked about like setting these examples for young athletes. I think they see me and they see the awards, they see the joy that I get out of it, and some of them want to participate as well. And so it's great to have, some of my former, players come back and help me assistant coach or take over for me when I'm on vacation, things like that. It's tremendous.
Great, and from the basketball courts to the boxing gyms, you wear many hats, Seth, as a coach and a trainer. How do you adapt your coaching style across such different disciplines while still maintaining your core philosophy?
Well, I think you have to meet people where they are. Like we said, there's some people who have not been, who are former athletes, who may be out of rhythm for a while, who may be out of shape, kids who have never done anything like that before. I think it's really, really important to listen also to their goals, right? If you ask people, they will tell you. They may not tell you in so many words, but if you ask them, they will tell you exactly what they want to achieve. And you need to be realistic about what's able to be achieved in a short amount of time, in a medium amount of time, and in long term. I think that's really, really important. But if we can show results, I think that's a great way to start the ball rolling, pardon the pun. But I do think that that's a way to start them on their fitness journey, and then we can move from there.
The fitness journey to food, because you've drawn parallels between being a trainer and an avant-garde chef. So how does your passion for food and cooking influence the way you lead, teach, or even motivate your youth players and your clients?
I think everything is artistic, right? I think that the idea that we can embed this fun and art and playfulness into not only our competition, into our sport, into the way that we teach, into the way that we cook, into the way that we, incorporate nutrition. I think that that's really, really important. It doesn't have to be so militant. It doesn't have to be so black and white. There's a little bit of gray area, and I think that's really, really important to remember. And it's important to be able to play with those things.
Right, Seth, as a polymath, and that just simply means someone who knows a lot and does a lot with a packed schedule. What practices or habits help you to stay grounded and energized mentally, physically, and spiritually? That's balance right there. How do you balance your life?
Yeah, I think just, being aware, being present, I think connecting with the natural world is really, really important. I have 4 huskies at home. I have a wonderful girlfriend for 11 years, and she keeps me grounded. But also just remaining humble, I think, is really, really important in all of this, right? I mean, awards aside, it's the work that's important. It's the joy that you get from knowing that you're the topic of conversation at some of these families' dinner tables, or they ask, well, what would Coach Seth do? To themselves, to their families, to other people, right? Is that I am a mentor and a role model for them. And that does keep me grounded. And I know I have responsibilities to not only the parents, to the kids, but to my clients as well.
That's fantastic, Seth. I think the common denominator in everything you've said to us this evening is to find joy and to be grounded. And we think that's absolutely fantastic advice. So as we depart from you at this point, we're going to let you make a promise to us. You have to come on down to Antigua, get with the Generation Next Club, and we want to try your karaoke boxing. Bring some
Absolutely.
because we like to eat.
I would absolutely love that. I promise I'll lead a beach karaoke boxing class. I think that would be fantastic. Right on the beach. Yeah. We'll have a lot of fun. And you'll teach me some new songs. You'll teach me some local favorites.
Oh yeah, gladly. All right, thank you so much, Seth, for that insightful conversation. Learned a lot today.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We did.
Mm-hmm. The GN Sports Show will be right back.
GN Sports Show.
Thanks for going the distance with us. This is the GN Sports Show.
I'm Jamila Kirwan.
And I'm Miguel Brand Challenger telling you sports is the life.
See you next time.
GN Sports Show. Interviews, insights, dreams taking flight. We show them how to handle the spotlight, preparing them for the journey ahead, building confidence, the words left unsaid. From the grassroots to the national scene, young athletes chasing every dream. In every game there's a story to tell. GN Sports Show, we know them well. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. Show. Interviews where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show. Sports Show.